Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a look at this week's beta and preview version 1.20.30.21. Now this week's beta is a bit of a smaller one. There are 2 additional features with all the ones that I am showing you right now, and those we will cover because I can't exactly show you those just as a little prop setup on this path that we have here. Anyways, we can go ahead and take a look at the first change. So first of all, pigs now make a new sound when they're turned into zombified piglins. Let's take a listen. So it's not actually a new sound, it's just they once again make sound. I didn't misspeak there, but they now just play the sound of a pig dying whenever they get transformed. As you could hear it just again, you hear the pig screech because it just got murdered. Next up, shearing a pumpkin will now make the same sound as on Java. Not gonna lie, that's pretty satisfying sound. I'm very satisfied. Hoglins will now make a new sound when transformed into Zoglins. Apparently he does not fit in the pen, but that's okay. There you go, you heard him. It's kind of like a screeching sound. Not the exact same screeching sound you hear when like a pig dies though, so it's a much deeper tone. And there you go, you hear it again. It's a much deeper kind of pig's dying screech. Alright, for this next one, I've got a whole bunch of just random items, and pretty much the sound that an item makes when you throw it into lava is supposed to be consistent now. Previously, it just sometimes wouldn't make a sound, sometimes it would. It was very random, but now it is always supposed to make the very similar sound. And there you go, after listening to all those items burn, they do sound very, very similar. So I'm going to say that was a successful change. Now, for this next change, it has to do with the sound netherite makes when dropped into lava. So sometimes the netherites, previously they wouldn't make a sound when dropped into lava, but now the sound is no longer going to be only played sometimes. So again, just like the last one, it should now be very consistent with the sounds made. Alright, maybe it's just me, but I'm personally not hearing any sounds with the items getting dropped in. Alright, next up, snow golems will now actually make a new sound when they start shooting snowballs at mobs. Now, it seems like he would really like to start shooting snowballs at him, and I'm not sure that they can shoot snowballs over fences anyway, so let's actually remake this pen a little bit. Oh. Great. Well, as you can hear, he does play sounds when throwing his snowballs. Sounds like a dispenser shooting an arrow, actually. So, yeah, very normal sound, I guess. Do you know the sound that dispensers make when they start when they start shooting snowballs? That's the sound that makes. Now, there's also supposed to be a new sound for a drowned turning into a zombie underwater. There you go. It's really just like a nice little splash sound, nothing overly crazy. Next up, when you're looking out over the horizon in Minecraft, if you were standing under blocks previously, the horizon would change colors. But now, as you can see, when I'm in and out from under these blocks, the horizon is still the same color all the time. So next up has to do with like bridging. So if we grab these blocks and come over here, the changelog says that crouch / jumping while aiming forward and holding down the build button will no longer continue to build blocks upwards past where you are aiming. So what this means is, as I'm sure most of you have been done this before or something, where you're just like building, but if you hold down the button, it doesn't exactly work. So it's a very tricky thing to get, but you can set this up where if you hold the button down and you jump, and you can run and place blocks. Now it's very tricky. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are pros at this. Normally this is used on servers when like you're playing Sky Wars or Bed Wars. I'm not the greatest at this skill, but it is a skill that a lot of people are very good at. And the issue is while you are going, you would start placing blocks upwards rather than just in a straight line. But Mojang has fixed this so that the blocks will just continue to go straight out in front of you rather than upwards like this, because you accidentally somehow start placing the blocks vertically. Even if I was facing and aiming like right here, they would just start going up, 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 and it would be very annoying. But that has now been fixed and is no longer an issue. Next up has to do with villagers. So last week there were all the changes to villagers and their trades. You can now only get max levels of like protection 3, for instance, is the highest level of protection you can get from these guys. And there were plenty of other changes. If you are interested, I would recommend checking out last week's beta video. However, as of this week, as I'm sure all of you know, whenever you had a zombie turn a villager into a zombie villager, oh no, 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 I didn't think about that. I didn't consider them burning. But whenever you did that, you could then convert them. You could then go ahead and convert that zombie villager back into a normal villager, just like so, and then they would have lessened trades. So if you remember, you could see right there, it was 24, now it's 18. If we scroll down, this was 40, now it's 15. So these discounts are actually pretty great. I think these are actually better discounts than I normally remember being able to get. For instance, 40 down to 15, normally I think this would only go down like 5 or so emeralds. So it seems like the discounts are greater, but it comes with the side issue of now, if you were to turn him back into a zombie villager and then cure him again, we would always be able to get those trades to continue going downward. So those 15 on that protection 3 and the, I think it was 18 on the paper, that would now go down even less. So you'd have like probably 14 something, 14, 15 on the paper, probably less than 10 on the book. However, you are now no longer able to continue doing this. Once you cure a zombie villager once, that is it. That's the most discounts you're going to be able to get. So there's no point in continuing to zombify them and cure them because you're not going to get any extra added benefits like you would be able to now. Meaning, just like I said last week, I would recommend making your villager trading halls now, because as of now, you can continue doing this until you get enchantment books that are worth 1 emerald. You will no longer be able to do that once this update rolls out. So I would highly recommend making your villager trading halls now, doing all the grind so that you don't have to deal with all this stuff right when it comes out. And now that the villager is cured, if we open this up, these aren't really much better. As you can see, this is still 15 emeralds. This is still 14. This, I didn't look at what it was previously. But as you can see up here, this is still 3. And this, I thought, went to 18 previously. So, the fact that it's 22 is a bit confusing to me. But maybe I just don't remember the number properly from the first time round. Anyway, that is it for these setup changes right here. As of for our next 2, we have to go looking around the world a little bit. So first of all, witches will now heal pillagers when they're in a raid. The actual changelog reads that witches now throw healing and regeneration potions at raiders during villager raids. Alright, here we go. We now have a glass box with a villager in it. You need a bed, don't you? So nitpicky, aren't you? There. I'm going to go ahead and get us to the witch phase, and then we will see if this is actually working. Alright, here we are, wave 4, the witch wave. And as you can see, actually, they're already throwing those regeneration potions. You see the pink particles on them. If we were to just go ahead and damage one, what if I damage you? They should just start trying to heal up. The witches will probably just heal themselves, to be honest, but you do see those pink particles on them already. I'm not sure that when you're actually fighting a raid, this is going to be all that useful, because, for instance, this netherite sword is 2-hit kill on these guys. So, like, I don't think the witches are going to bother running to the pillagers to quickly and specifically heal them. For instance, this one already has the effect. I think the witch is in it. Yeah, there you go. The witch threw some regeneration down. So it's not a huge change, but it does make sense. It's a nice, small little change. And I think it's actually pretty cool to see, to be honest. Also, I just killed the villager to end the raid. Did pillagers always do this when they won? Did they always do a little dance? Normally, I don't let the pillagers win the raid, so I don't know if they've actually ever done that before. But I just wanted to point that out, because I thought that was really interesting. I've never seen that happen before. Alright, for our next change, I got out my elytra, I got out my rockets. Pillager outposts can now spawn inside of the cherry grove biomes. Now there is a lot of cherry grove around here. However, I do not see any pillager outposts. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to search around for pillager outpost until I find one in a cherry grove biome, just to show you guys that they do actually spawn here. Alright guys, so I've been looking for a solid 20 minutes. This is the closest thing I found, but these things are either incredibly hard to find or they weren't actually added. Venus pillager outposts aren't the most common, and cherry groves aren't the most common. I'm assuming this is just actually a relatively hard thing to find, but I'm just gonna go ahead and stop this. I've been searching for 20 minutes, like I said. I'm just done. Anyway, now that we are back at our little camp area here, we can go ahead and talk about the last few features. Now, these last few features aren't anything incredible. They are just more vibrations being added to the game that skulk sensors can't pick up, such as placing a mob head, placing a lily pad, fox eating sweet berries, chickens laying eggs, turtles and frogs laying eggs, using bone meal, collecting fish out of loxels and tadpoles in buckets, putting on a name tag, evokers summoning vexes or fangs. Pretty much just they're going through in each beta and preview, every update they're adding a few more vibrations to the game just to really round out the skulk sensors. Because don't get me wrong, when they were first added, they were cool, and they are still cool now. But when they were first added, they could only pick up like 24 things, so they're just trying to add every possible vibration to the game to make things a bit more realistic. Anyways, that is going to do it for today's beta and preview review. If you have enjoyed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It would really mean the world to me. And maybe even comment what your favorite part of this week's beta was. Anyways, this has been Mr. Gaming Aquatic, and I'll see you next time. Peace.